We're talking about chapter 6.2. We're on page 191 out of your textbook. We're going to talk about these things first. Central angle, semicircle, arc, minor arc, and the measures of minor and major. Major was in there somewhere. Minor arc and major arc right there.
We didn't have to copy the arc.
We're talking about these first, and then we're going to talk about these. Okay. First thing we've got to talk about is central angle. Okay. Here's a circle. If I draw an angle that goes through the center of the circle, then I get a central angle. That's kind of intuitive, but that's what you get. You get a central angle right here, and that angle is tied to the arc. The arc that it makes is the curved part of the surface that goes from here to here. This is the arc. An arc is part of the circle. The definition up here, an unbroken part of the circle. And then it goes on about the descriptions of different kinds of arcs, but that's part of the arc. The relationship between a central angle and an arc is very important. It's the most important thing you're going to learn today. If this amount here is 70 degrees, that angle, then the measure of the arc that it makes is also 70 degrees. They are interrelated. You need to draw this in your notes. It's not up here on the board. Okay? The measure of the central angle is the same as the arc that it makes. 70 degrees, 70 degrees. Alright, I'm going to do this.
That's 70 degrees.
He's just saying that.
I'm just saying I just made it 70 degrees. It could be anything.
I'm not asking that.
Oh, how is this 70 degrees?
Yeah.
Because how much is all the way around the circle?
360.
360, right? So if I cut it in half, right, what would half of 360 be?
180.
180. And what is the measurement of a straight line? 180. So they match up. You should start to see that. If this one's 90 degrees and it's a quarter of the circle, then what's 360 divided by 4? 90 degrees. So they have to be the same. Okay? That was a good question. It doesn't necessarily mean that that is the distance. It's the measurement. I know that's confusing, but we'll get more into that in just a second. Okay? So everybody good on central angle and the arc that it makes. Okay? Alright. So now let's talk about the different kinds of arcs that you can have. The easiest one, the one that I just showed you basically, is the one that goes through the center of the circle and is exactly half of the circle. It's called semicircle because it's half of the circle, and its measurement is what? 180. It's half the circle. Okay, that's the easiest one. If I take a central angle and it's less than 180 and it's this distance here, okay, then it is a what?
Minor.
It is a minor arc. Minor arcs are less than 180 degrees. Okay? Minor arcs normally have 2 letters. Okay? The way you write this is AB, and it could have an arc over it like that. That's how you write arc AB. If I gave a measurement here and I said that this was 50 degrees and I put what is the measurement of arc AB, if the central angle is 50, then the arc has to be 50. And that would be 50 degrees. Okay? So that's kind of some notation. Let's do this and say C here. I could say arc CAB. Is that a minor arc? CAB? Is it going to be less than 180?
Yeah.
Yes, it is. How many letters does it have? It has 3 letters. So 2 letters A to B is always going to be a minor arc. Okay? 3 letters CAB could be a minor arc or it could be a major arc. It just depends. 3 letters. But 2 letters is always going to be a minor arc, because a very valid question is to say, how do I know I'm going from A to B in this direction? How do I not know I'm going from A all the way around to B? Right? And the reason you know that is it only has 2 letters. Okay? In order for it to be a major arc, it has to have 3. But people get that confused sometimes and they say, oh, if it has 3 letters, then it must be a major arc, and that's not true. As I just showed you, CAB is a minor arc because it's less than 180. Okay? There's a lot. I'm saying a lot. I'm hoping that you're writing this down and getting it in your notes. Okay? All right, let's do another example. All right, so here you got a circle. What have I drawn now if it goes through the center? Semicircle. A common problem is for them to do this and tell you that that one's 70 and that that one's 50, and for you to find x. Right? You have to do a little subtraction. First of all, is x going to be a minor arc or a major arc? It's minor, right? This arc here is minor. It's less than 180. If I know that the total is 180, right? From here to here to here is 180, then I can simply subtract 70 and subtract 50 in order to find x, which equals what? 60. If this angle here was 60, then this arc would have to be 60. This one's 50, and this one's 70. Okay, are you with me?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to put this here, and I'm going to say 80 and 100. Okay, you with me? 80, 100. Let's put some letters. A, B, C, D, and E. So now, if I do 3 letters and I say arc AEC, I've now moved into major arc. What is the definition of a major arc? A major arc with endpoints A and B, it doesn't say it up here, but a major arc is greater than 180. Write that down. A major arc is greater than 180 degrees. A major arc is greater than 180 degrees. Notice the 3 letters. AEC tells me I'm doing this, this, and this. Well, how do I find the measure of arc AEC? All right, what allows you to do that? There's a postulate right here. And the arc addition postulate says that you can add them up. I mean, it's that easy. So if I'm trying to find AEC, I'm going to look here and I'm going to say 80. I'm going to look here and say 100. And I'm going to look here and say 50. I'm going to say 180 plus 50 is 230. So the measure of arc AEC is 230 degrees. Okay? Questions? And there's all kinds of problems that they can get from ones like this. Okay? This is kind of just scratching the surface. They're going to leave some out. There could be problems that look like this. And you have to use vertical angles. I went down there and talked to Miss Olive, and she said that y'all did do vertical angles last year. But they could put X, X, and 60 and ask you to find X. Right? How would you solve that problem? How would you find X? What do X, X, and 60 all have to add up to? 180. So why can't I say X plus 60 equals 180? Sometimes when it's all numbers, everybody knows what to do. But when I throw a variable in there, or 2 variables, then it goes out the window. Okay? So you would get 2x equals 120 or x equals 60. They all equal 60.